Hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss about final keyword. So final is a word frequently we use regularly, right? Yes, the work is done. This is the final result, okay? So we use that term. So what does it mean means you cannot update that particular value or that particular job in the forthcoming situation. Yes, it is final. Once it is to mentioned as final in the sense you cannot update it, okay, that's it, you cannot change the value. So final is always like your constant keyword in the C languages. So we have already demonstrated this final keyword in our unit 1 when we talk about variables, right? So here we have some variations like using the keyword called final for a variable, for a method, for a class. How do they differ? What is the limitation of the keyword final when we use a method, when we use for a class, and when we use for a variable? So today's class we are going to see that. Let us see that. Okay. So the final keyword in Java is used to restrict the user. Yes, of course. And to whom I can represent this final keyword means you can go with variable, method, and class. Okay. So do I have a blank variable ma'am, blank final variable ma'am, which is variable defined but it is not initialized. Okay. Sometimes we came this kind of an error, right? So you might be defined int ABC, but this ABC will not be assigned any values when you compile your program. So automatically your compiler will return the error that the variables ABC have been defined but not at initialized or not at used, right? Like that the error will be coming, right? To avoid such kind of an errors you can specify them as a final. Okay, if it is a final abdina you cannot update any values. So such kind of variables we call it as blank final variable. Uninitialized variable is called as blank final variable. Okay, yeah, let us see. So this is one kind of a program. So let us start from your main function. Okay. What is this main function is telling abdina? Bike 9 obj. So I have a class called bike 9. So yes, I have a class and I'm going to create an object for bike 9. So and this is a constructor call. So this is default constructor. So what are the attributes of my bike 9 in the sense? It has a variable called speed limit and one method called run. Okay. So these are the statements I have under the bike 9. Okay. Um, and when I tried there, when I see inside the block, okay, um, let us draw the template of bike 9. Okay. So object obj follows the template of bike 9. So what is this bike 9 contains abdina? It has a variable called speed limit. Okay, and it is initialized as 90. Okay, and this is final. Let me write this F in different color. So this is final. Okay, so and I have one method and that method called run. Okay, so now this is my template of my obj. Okay, come here obj dot run. What is this? This is method calling. Okay, so I need to call this a run method. Okay, when I go inside the run method, what is the statement myself having abdina? Myself having a variable called speed limit. So what is the speed limit? Actually it is a class variable, instance variable. So speed limit is initialized with a value of 40. Okay, but if I see here already the speed limit is assigned with a value of 90 and here it is a keyword called final. So once it is final specified in the sense, no more updation is happened. Okay, so now here 400 will not get updated. Instead it throws an error. Okay, am I right? Am I clear? So do you see here final variable once assigned a value, it can never be changed. Okay, so your speed limit value always retains at the value 90. So 400 will not be updated. Okay, second, in that case you will be computed with compile time errors. So second case is method. Okay, when I write a function with a keyword called method, final to a method. Okay, here void run is a final method. Okay, let us draw the template for Honda. So here Honda is an object created. So Honda, so what is the structure of Honda? So actually Honda extends bike, right? So what are the content of bike அப்படின்னா final void run. Okay, it prints running. I write here in different way so that you will understand in a better way. So what it is printing? Running. Okay, next we see here I'm going to call the function called Honda. Sorry, I didn't complete my template. Okay, just brought into the parent class data. Then I enter into the block of statement. If I enter into the block of the statement, again I have called the run function. Okay, so actually this is overriding, right? So this concept you call it as overriding because both the function shares their name but they belongs to different classes. In the sense you call it as method overriding. What happens in the previous case, what is the concept of overriding அப்படின்னா your child class will overwrite your overwrite the parent class data to be newer class data, right? அப்போ இங்க இருக்கிற run functionல you will be printing running safely. Like this the statement should be printed. Okay, but keep it in the memory. As I told, if you have specified the keyword called final, okay, you cannot update any values in சொல்லியாச்சு. Okay, because parent class shares the keyword called final என்றதுனால no more updation should be happened in the child class. So which means you cannot overwrite your parent class. Okay, so Honda will contain the value of your parent class alone. Honda will contain the run method of your parent class. It will not update the newer data of the child class. Am I clear? So if you make any method as final, it cannot be overwritten. You cannot override it. So here also it will throws an error. Okay, next, what happens if you define a class to be final? Okay, if you define a class to be final அப்படின்னா you can inherit a class but you cannot extend a class. Okay, you can which means if you define a parent class to be final அப்படின்னா no more child classes can extend that particular parent class. Do you clear? So here I have a class called bike. So that is keyword given as final, which means no other child classes can extend the feature of your bike class. Okay, so this is not possible when you give the keyword called final. So this final method is inherited அப்படின்னா method will be inherited. Okay, in the sense in parent class you have run method. Okay, and child class you have running method. Okay, this is possible. So run method is accessible in the child class. Okay, if you give the name as final, but you cannot override the values. Okay, whatever the content the run method is given abdina, you can execute in the same child class. Okay, so if you see here, bike has a run method and Honda is going to extend bike abdina, the run method will also available in your Honda. Okay, so object Honda 2 dot run means the object Honda 2 is an object going to call your run method. Okay, so output is running, is possible. What is blank or initialized final variable abdina? If you see here, the variable is not initialized at the time of declaration is known as blank variable. Okay, class student, int id, string name, and final string no. So it is a PAN card number. Okay, so we are here. I have not used the equal to operator. Okay, I have not used the equal to operator. If I use equal to operator na, the value I will be storing there. Okay, here I have not used equal to operator, so automatically this is called as blank or uninitialized final variable. Okay, so no assignment operation made for final variable. Sorry, here the output is wrongly placed. Can we initialize blank final variable abdina? Can we initialize blank final variable? Yes, but you can initialize the blank final variable only inside the constructor. Okay, uh, see here, public static void main new bike 10. So object is created. Once the object is created abdina, constructor will be called. Where is the constructor abdina? Inside the constructor, speed limit equal to 70. Okay, actually in the previous case, in the first line, this final keyword is kept for the variable called speed limit, and here I have not initialized any values. Okay, but where do I initialize my final keyword abdina? Variable in the sense you can do through constructor. So I have created a constructor called byteng because the method name and your class name are same, so it is a constructor. You can assign your blank variables inside your constructors. Okay, what happens if you use final keyword in a method and that too with a parameter? Okay, what happens in the sense? Okay, if you say a parameter as a final abdina, can we assign the value for instance variable? You know that you can assign the value of an instance class, the instance variable of a class, only through the methods. சரியா? அதே if you specify the parameter to be final அப்படின்னா, we can assign the same value to the instant variable, but you cannot make any alteration with that variable. For example, in the previous case we have saw no id and name. Okay, through an object we have supplied id as 1 and variable name as Ankit. The same 1 and Ankit is assigned to the instance variable through the statement called this dot id and this dot name. If I want to change this particular id to be incremented value, shall I change 1 plus 1 equal to this dot id abdina? If I write a line like that abdina, it is not possible. Okay, because the parameter is specified as final. Yes, you have the simple program here, right? So bike 11b, so I'm going to create an object called bike 11b. So this b is a function object is going to call a function called cube. So cube function receives the value of 5. Okay, now the variable dummy variable of the variable is of the function is n. Okay, so n is assigned with the value 5 and that is a final keyword. Okay, if I say final abdina, the value of n is never changed. Okay, when I entered into the body, I have written the statement called f for final n equal to 5. Okay, I have written the statement called n equal to n plus 2. What is n? 5 plus 2. What is the total value? 7. So what is the statement again? It will work up dinner. 7 will be assigned to n, no, but here comes an error because n value is never changed because it is defined as final. Okay, so again it throws an compile time error. Can we declare a constructor is final abdina? No, you cannot define a constructor to be final. Okay, if you do that abdina, program doesn't goes for execution. Okay, your class will never get inherited. Your execution never happens. Okay, so you shouldn't do the keyword called final in constructors. Thank you.